asked me what am I making?
What are you making?
Hold it, hold it. Yeah. This is gonna be the base. I told her the total length would be like 4 or 5 inches.
Probably like this size then.
No, that's way too big. For once, I only got what I needed. I guess I didn't need these, but This video is kindly sponsored by North One, an online business banking and financial management platform designed to help your small business. We're gonna start the day off by sculpting this commission because I anticipate that it'll take me the longest time to sculpt. As you can see, it's super detailed. Basically, it's gonna be her and her fiance next to a big redwood tree. They're husky and rose bushes going through their different stages in life. And I just thought that the scene was so beautiful, but I'm also very nervous just because it's going to be very large, complex, multiple pieces, and it has a lot of things that I've never sculpted before. I've never sculpted a redwood tree before, and I actually haven't sculpted people or dogs before. This is a lot of new things, but we ended up going with this pack of 3. It was just better value. I think the size is pretty good, and I don't know, maybe I'll make more trees in the future. Obviously I can't sculpt on top of this because this cannot go in the oven, but I'll be using it as a reference for the size. And then I'll make everything out of clay and then glue it onto the base and resin around it once it's done. This is the first time I'm using a foil base as well. A lot of firsts today, but I just figured I want a little bit of height to the grass, but I didn't want to use like a shit ton of clay to do that. And what's nice about foil is that it's super light, but it keeps its shape. So I know that the bottom will stay flat and that it'll be super easy to glue everything on top of the wood base once it's all baked. And I guess the most obvious pro to using foil is that you can bake it. People use it all the time as an armature for polymer clay dolls and just larger sculptures and stuff. It's also giving it a really nice texture for the grass. Kind of looks like a cookie. I just got a ton of pastels and mixed them together to shade the grass. I actually don't know what I'm doing. I tested it out a bit on this piece of clay. I think it looks good, but also kind of just reminds me of like a fruit by the foot. I don't know what I'm doing. I just thought that the grass looked a little flat. I get a lot of questions about how I color my clay. First of all, I get pre-colored clay, and then I usually use pastels to shade it, or I use acrylic paint to paint it afterwards. That looks pretty good.
Since I last saw you and gave my business card to you.
This is how the tree is looking so far. I'm not in love with it, but I think this is the best I can do, and once all the characters are in, it will look a little more like a cartoon Studio Ghibli scene rather than just a tree. But yeah, this took a lot of effort. It's been about 2 hours. Usually I can make 3 of my regular shop items in 1 hour, but commissions just take me so much longer to make. I'm gonna put this in the oven, take a break from sculpting the commission so I can sculpt some regular items and just give myself a little reset, and then I'll come back to this later.
I think is like a red flag that somebody's entitled, like when you're dating them.
I figured before class I would just kill some time by folding up boxes. I'm sure you've seen these boxes multiple times, probably hundreds of times in my vlogs already. I stuff them with tissue paper and they make for a really sturdy shipping component that's also pretty cheap. So I have to take the time to fold all of these. I feel like this is a part of the process that not a lot of business owners show. Maybe it's like boring or it's just like obvious that we have to do this. And while we're on the topic of things that small business owners usually don't share, is how important it is to separate your personal and your business finances. This video is kindly sponsored by North One, an online business banking and financial management platform designed to help American small businesses. Just with your phone or your laptop, you can send ACH or wire payments, make deposits, set aside budgets, and more. Setting up a separate business banking account with North One makes record keeping and filing taxes so much easier, and it protects you by limiting personal liability. North One is different from traditional banks because you can integrate all of your favorite platforms like QuickBooks, PayPal, and unlike traditional banks, it only takes you 3 minutes to apply for a North One business account. You'll even get your own physical and virtual North One card to start making purchases and payments for your everyday business needs. What I really appreciate about North One is how transparent they are. They just charge a flat rate of $10 a month, and there are no hidden fees. That means every time you transfer money, there's no ACH fees, and making deposits is also free at over 80,000 locations. And a feature that I think is really cool is their automatic budgeting tool called Envelopes. These make planning for upcoming expenses like payroll, taxes, subscriptions so much easier. Just tap the Envelopes button in the app, create your custom rules, and North One sets aside a portion of your incoming funds automatically. So if you want to try out North One to easily manage all of your business finance needs, everyone that uses my link below will automatically get a $10 credit for their first month when they open and fund an account. Now I'm gonna finish folding up these boxes. Thank you North One for sponsoring this video. Good morning. I don't know why I always feel like vlogging in the morning, and then as the day goes on, I just have way less energy, but very slow morning. It's about 9 o'clock now. I already did my 5-minute journal, but I wanted to share for my 3 things that would make today great. I said it'd be great if I got everything sculpted, if I make myself a little drinky drink in the afternoon, not an alcoholic drink. Like, I really feel like making an Americano because I have my coffee right now, but as I was making my coffee, I was like, man, I really want an iced coffee, but I don't want a lot of milk in it. I just want an Americano. So I'm gonna make that today because when I inevitably crash around 3 or 4 p.m., it will do me really good to just pick myself up, get into the kitchen and make myself an Americano. And the last thing that would make today great would be to stretch, because I literally only worked out for like 15 minutes total yesterday, but I'm so freaking sore. It feels like I worked out for like 2 hours yesterday. I guess I'm just very humbled and surprised. I wanted to work out today, but I'm super sore, so I think I'll just do some yoga maybe. I feel really calm right now, but I usually feel calm in the mornings, and then I slowly get more and more worked up throughout the day, probably because it's like the combination of fatigue and stress that I'm not progressing as fast as I want to be, and I do get a little bit of doom, like that feeling, the Sunday scaries, I think that's what it's called, like when you feel this feeling of dread. Like I said last night, I think I've just gotten to this point where I've been crying so much this week. I just don't want to make myself go through that ever again, because I really do love my job. Like I was writing in my journal, I'm living my dream life. Like I'm working with brands that I've been wanting to work with forever. Like I've been wanting to work with Flexi Spot for the longest time, and that finally happened. I got to work with Crocs and HelloFresh, and I should be really proud of myself for doing that. I'm so grateful for everything, and yeah, I just don't want to be like this anymore. I don't know. And I really want to like set my intentions straight. And you know, the reason why people become self-employed is because the flexibility and the opportunities and stuff. And I just don't want to complain anymore. And I don't want to be tired all the time anymore. I want to be filled with energy, abundant, like love, and I want to be nurturing, and I can't do that if I'm tired all the time. I watch a lot of interviews of creatives who do what I do, and when I see just how much energy they have, even if they've only slept like 2 hours, I'm just like, how do they do that? How? I feel like I'm not a person when I don't sleep. Anyway. I just weighed out some clay for the puffer cats. This is a puffer cat. It's a cat wearing a vest and a beanie. The ones in the front are going to be the heads. The ones in the back are going to be the bellies. I just thought of this, but it's really interesting how I started off making these really amorphous characters, like these boopy little radish spirits, and then it progressed into me making these really, really intricate animals with clothing and limbs and everything.
Pyramid scheme in Korea, but there's kimchi, marinated ribs, like everything in that. Is it something boiling and boiling to really...
It is that time to make a coffee. It's 6 p.m. now, and I still have a lot to sculpt. It's crazy how 4 hours has passed by since I made the coffee. I guess time flies when you're having fun. I guess I should give a project update on the commission that I was working on. As you guys know, yesterday I baked the tree and the grass and the bench. And the white stuff is liquid polymer clay. I'll be covering that up with the other character. But yeah, I think this little dude took me about an hour to make, and he's about the size of my thumb. Which is so funny. I'm actually really proud of how it turned out. I still have the customer to sculpt their dog, the tennis balls, and the 2 rose bushes, but we're making progress.
Fragile space in a single sail, white rocky island, you and I on the trail, just us and the waves, no need to behave in the harbor of pine strawberries, tangerine tears, t-shirts laid out like our grief throughout the years. We say rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoes.